Okay, it looks like we are live. I am here with the very professional Chad Harrington.
Hello,
We'll
hello.
just wait for a few people to show up.
Yeah,
So, what is it that you do?
I am now the general manager of This Is It, the gay bar in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you have the voice for radio.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'd much rather not have a camera on me, but I'll make do.
Okay. Well, you do well with a camera, so you are okay. I'm gonna pull up. Hold on, I gotta find the episode so that we can. So I ended up having. Oh, we got 5 people. A whole 5 people in 42
Oh,
seconds. That's like a. It's like 6 people in a minute per minute. Um. So, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you probably since Camp Wanakiki.
yeah. No, I've seen some of your shows and some stuff you're doing online and whatnot, but we have not interacted, I guess, since
No,
then.
we have not, and I have missed you. How have you been doing? What have you been up to?
But just working. Obviously, I did
Yeah,
season 2, and um, that was.
living the COVID dream.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pull up. Do you have the episode ready? Do you
I
have it
do.
pulled up and ready?
Oh
Okay,
yes, I am.
I still have to find it. I haven't figured all this. Like, I was not ready for this COVID ridiculousness, technology wise, because I'm just used to like somebody else pushing play for me, or I have a pianist, she plays, I sing. Like, I don't have to. Like, I have people that do these things. Well,
Right.
now we're all screwed if we don't know how to do these things. So
Yeah.
it has been a learning experience. So from that standpoint, it's good. Basically, I am sitting on my router right now to make sure that nothing like goes wrong. So I'm in the guest room, which I call the
Oh.
Georgia Suite.
Oh, nice.
So yes, so I've got the closets behind me, a chair. Yeah, so it's interesting. So, but what have you been up to since season 1 when I saw you?
Just working, really. We got working. I was still at Hamburger Mary's then, so I was working there.
Yeah.
Um, we did our Golden Girls show again this past
Right,
year.
and
So I
that
did that.
has been you guys have like cleaned up on that.
Yeah, no, it's been a really an amazing experience. Been very busy and successful, and definitely looking forward to doing it again this year, which will be our 4th year now. So
Wow. Wow. Congrats on
no,
that.
thank you.
So what I love is so everybody that doesn't know, Chad Harrington was our Wrangler for season 1 and season 2. What I loved about Chad was he was to me, I mean, I that was the first time that I met you.
Mm.
So you were the most unlikely, like personality wise, like you were the most unlikely person that I expected to be having to deal with drag queens
Oh yeah,
because you were so like straight faced and so like dry isn't the right word, but just very I knew if I made you laugh, I was doing something right.
right.
That was how I looked at things. I was like, yeah, so like basically when you see me coming out in anything, I'm playing not to the camera, I'm playing to Chad. Like if I could make him laugh, I knew it was okay. I was doing okay. Yeah. So we are gonna watch. So this is this episode. So I like to start out with first off. Wait, my hair is like so messed up right now. What was so you came in knowing? Did you know all the Wisconsin queens?
Not Dominique.
Oh, okay.
Um, I-
But you
Otherwise,
knew
yeah,
Pagan. You and
yeah,
Pagan were
yeah. Me and
friends.
Megan were pretty close.
Yeah.
I knew Sylvia. I knew
Who?
the JJ. God, who else was there?
I think that was it
I think
for.
that
Oh,
was
I
it for
just spilled on
yeah.
myself. For Wisconsin.
Hmm.
It was pretty split even. I think was it 4 Chicago queens, 4 Wisconsin queens.
I think
So it
so.
was
Yeah,
like me, Alasia, Kevy, and Alexis. Yeah.
yeah.
So it was 4 Chicago and 4. To be honest, going in, I only knew Alexis, and I knew. So bad. I knew she was my competition. Like I knew only because she was the only person I knew.
Mm,
So I didn't know anybody else knowing what they were gonna bring.
right.
So yeah, it was. So what was your first impression of the queens that you didn't know coming in? Let's
Um,
start with let's see. Let's start with Kevy.
I mean, I guess in general, I could tell you guys had no idea what was about to happen, and frankly, neither did we.
I was just gonna say, did anybody?
Yeah, I think my favorite thing that you guys always talk about is you didn't know whether to be funny or to actually do the challenges, and I don't think we knew that going through the entire time what we wanted. We just thought like it would be funny, and we hoped that
Well,
would
and that was
we
just
hoped.
it. We were like, and I think this episode. It's funny because I watched this episode.
Mm,
I have not watched these episodes since season one, like when they first came out.
mm.
And I have to be really careful not to read the comments because they can be very triggering for
Oh
me.
yeah.
So it was really interesting to go through and to watch this again because I remember from this episode, this is when things started getting raw for me.
Mm.
And yeah, it was this and that was like we didn't know, and you'll see in this episode, anybody that's watching and following along, go to Camp Wanakiki. We're doing season 1, episode 4. And you will see we were all trying so hard, and if you know, like the last episode, Dominique was like, well, I'm just gonna go with this character of this like pink princess, and then she kind of got railed for it in the judgments, and it was like, well, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to win these or be funny? Because, and I said this in the last one, it was like when we were doing the cable, like when we had to cross the river in the cable, our direction for that was literally, and I am not joking, we joke about this, but I am not joking. It was literally from the twins, don't fall in the water, but if you do, it'll be really funny, but you shouldn't fall in the water, but if you do, you might win, but don't do it.
Yeah.
We were like, I don't know where to go with this.
And I remember after that happened, you know, we had one of our little producer meetings, and they were like, "I wish somebody would have fell in. Damn it!" We're like, "What do you mean?"
Girl, I had that extra wig. I would have done it. And it was like, because you'll see in this episode, my daily drag wig was just falling apart. Like, it was a disaster. It was done. I was like, oh, I must have got to that point where I was done pinning it up. So, oh my God. So, should we watch it?
All right, man.
All right, let's watch it. All right, hold on. I'm going to pull it up. So mine might end up coming out on the thing, on the on my microphone, because I'm not as fancy as you. So here I go. All right. So you notice those spinning daisies, they will be in the twins' hair later. Oh. This goddamn volleyball net. We did this for like an hour. And because we had to get the drone set up. And then Cherry Pie comes over and she's like, I know you guys are trying to be funny, but could you actually try and play? And I was like, bitch, we are a bunch of drag queens. I never did sports in my life. You can calm down. Oh, Alicia's hair really got caught in the net. I didn't realize I wasn't wearing padding and my ass was huge in those goddamn pants. Here we go with the marching. Vijay, this is when we had to... No, this isn't when Vijay had the migraine. Not this episode. I think it's the next episode. Hi, everybody watching. Yes, the tent challenge. Okay, so you can tell that it started getting hot at this point. Okay, let's pause really quick. So this is when it started getting hot at camp because now I have lost my fur coat and it was really sunny, so I found my parasol. I was the one that came the most prepared for this motherfucking thing. I was a camp counselor. I had camped. I knew what to expect. So, oh my God. Do you remember anything from this day?
Not specifically. There's
after
doing 2 seasons now. It's just
it's
just lots of queens and lots
blends.
Lots of running around.
Yes. Well, not so many now. We're down to 4, 6. What are we down to?
We're
6.
at 6 now. Yeah.
6. I have a story about Chad later, but we'll wait for that until we get to the actual the talent show because that's about when it happened. So here we go. All right, I'm going back on it.
As you can see, we have 3 identical tents. You will be paired in teams of 2 to see who can pitch their tent the fastest. Because a good comedy queen
I really thought that JJ and I would have been paired for this one.
Test your knowledge.
But no.
Camp comedy and drag trivia. The team that gets the most correct answers will get a time advantage in the tent pitching.
Which, the time advantage was like 20 minutes. Okay, you go 20 minutes, and you go set up your tent, and now everybody else can go.
Will be teamed with Pagan.
I don't. Okay, so for everybody that has watched in the past, I've bitched about this, and I will bitch big time towards the end. But they would pull our names and then do another take, and we wouldn't get the same people.
The young and that. Oh. All right, so switch your
You will see in just a few minutes. Cherry Pie. This is the point when Cherry Pie starts getting like really pissed about things, and she's like, "That's not what we're asking." Hold on, here it comes.
Baltimore.
Oh, it's not until after the
What did you have, Alexis and Pagan? Baltimore. Close enough. Whoa. Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell. I have dyslexia, so like my dyslexia will hit in, and then it's like, and Kevy's like, I don't know. I'm like, thanks, that's helpful.
Legend and founder of Wingstock is still going strong, touring clubs around the world with her signature huge hairstyle, potty mouth humor, and politically incorrect parody song.
This is when JJ started trying to be funny.
Muffy Fishbasket is not the correct answer. It is correct, but not what we're looking for. Pagan and Alexis. Lady Bunny! Yeah!
This is also when Alicia started finding her character.
You each get a point.
Look at my hair, it's like a disaster.
LGBT and other social issues of the day. Not to mention the timeless fashion sense of girls. What was the name of Blanche's gay brother?
I think I cheated on this because I don't know how I knew this, and I don't think Kevy knew. I think I looked over at Alexis and I cheated off of her.
Nice.
Pagan and Alexis.
Yeah, look at her. She's like, Pagan and Alexis, do you have a real answer?
Back up. Heavy and Muffy.
Yeah, I totally cheated off her because I didn't.
Another point.
Girl, that's how I graduated from high school. Just cheated off people. Oh, my dogs are barking.
Paris Flynn Wilstead is larger-than-life drag legend is best known for her crazy antics in various John Waters films, including infamously eating dog food.
Are they playing Mario Brothers in the background?
It does sound like it.
Is that what that is? This hair is just like falling apart right now. She's like, it's not right.
My dog to visit her grave, and he accidentally peed on it. So I think she liked. Dubai.
That's what the P stands for in Alexis P. Bells. She likes to be peed on. Yeah, see, once again.
The movie about the struggles of Hollywood actresses features drag queens Coco Peru, Farrah G. Merman, and Edie Harris.
Oh, yeah, I was like, Kevy, I got this. Just calm down. Just don't even talk. I got this. Oh, my dogs. Sam!
Girls will be girls, except Muffy Fishbasket. Oh, well, you got the first part right.
Listen, you know what? I'll take all the advertisement I can get.
Pagan and Alexis. Girls will be girls. Yes, they will. Girls will be girls. Girls will be girls.
I knew the fucking song. And I said it there too. I knew the song. I was really proud of that.
In 1954, this camp queen starred in the comedy The Long, Long Trailer alongside her real-life husband. Who was she? Dear Ruthie. She's lying. Close, but no.
Look, she's like close, but no. I'm done with your antics.
The ball's tucked away, but I love this one out in front of everyone. It's Lucille Ball.
All right,
Yeah, that's when I was cheating again.
I'm gonna say no. You've been cheating on a lot.
Bitches.
My shoulders hurt from carrying this tape. So we're going to go
That was a really good line.
right back.
Okay, so pause. Let's pause this really quick. Okay, so what is the best thing you remember from Camp Wanakiki season 1?
Oh God. I mean, there were a lot of crazy, weird things that happened behind the scenes, obviously that no one will ever know about, which is perfectly fine. No one. Will know about it. God, I don't know. It really is.
It better involve me. So let's do that. Your favorite memory of Muffy Fishbasket.
I think it was finally like, I think about this time when we had like a little downtime afterwards, and we had our cocktail hour. I think everyone got more into it finally. Because the first few days, everyone kind of had the little sips of like I'll just have one and then I'll go to
Oh no,
bed
not
and
me.
be ready.
No, bitch. I was like, I emptied that goddamn vodka.
But by day 3 and 4, everyone was just they were there to power drink because we needed.
Girl, we had our one helper that came in. I don't remember what his name was. And he came in. Oh God, what number are you at? Really quick. What is your time?
Oh God, where am I?
I just totally stopped.
I was at 7:09.
Okay, I'm gonna get there. Hold on. There we go. No, goddamn. We had our one helper that came in, and he found where the booze was and was like literally like sucking down our boobs. I was like, you don't understand. I need that. Don't take my booze. So that was it. What was the most controversial worst memory? And I know you have a couple, so you better not even try and play that. I don't know.
God. I mean, definitely the discussions about who to get rid of sometimes was heated. I mean, I know you guys were outside. I'm sure you could hear bits and pieces, but sometimes
we were actually back like behind that like thin wall. We had knot holes. Literally, so everybody like listening. Hi Coco. We had to go so where we did the talent show was where it was the storage shed. And that was where they like stored all the there was bikes, there was canoes, there was all that stuff. So they moved a lot of that out of there. But there was kind of an apartment behind stage.
I think it was the counselors' dorms too. Like
there was like counselor dorms, but like literally there was this. Wait, let me find it. There was this much wall space between us and where the judgment was going on, and there was not holes. So we would listen and watch. We'd be like, So yes, so that would get heated. I would say it would be the fights with the twins. I think this was the episode that I literally had to grab Pagan and pull her backstage from going out there and telling them off.
Probably. I can believe that.
Oh, yeah. It was like she was marching out there. I grabbed her by the elbow. We literally did a do-si-do and I shoved her into the back room. It was completely like a Lucille Ball moment. It was ridiculous.
Pagan and I had some long late night talks as well. So, yeah.
You also had to go and do some pantyhose runs for Pagan.
I did. I had to go buy her underwear. That was fun.
Because during the last episode, dear Ruthie, said, Pagan, I love you. Wear some goddamn underwear.
Yeah. So there I am at the Walmart and God knows
buying like 25 pairs of legs.
With a shopping cart, doing a flyby of like the young women's underwear section, trying to figure out what to buy without having to stop.
And not be arrested for being a perv.
Right. Well, but then I had to buy pantyhose. I could not find them, so I had to ask somebody's grandma in her 60s, working in the ladies' department. Like, so my mom needs these, and I like literally just handed her the list, like I'm a 4-year-old boy.
I love that you went with mom and not wife. Like you were like, I'm not going. I'm not that. We're not gonna. So gay, I can't even do wife.
My mom needs these.
I love it. Okay, here we go. I am at 7:15.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
First, and so you'll get to start first in the pitching it.
You get 20 minutes to put up your goddamn tent.
And Ole
Girl, that hair.
and JJ, you sadly came in third place.
Okay, and at this point, they put us in a field with no shade. It was so fucking hot that day.
It was,
It
yeah.
was so hot. That that's why I had the parasol.
Now, congratulations to Alexis and Pagan. You won the trivia contest, so you're going to get a 30-second head start.
So this is a great example for anybody that is auditioning for Camp Wanakiki. Of you have no idea what they're actually looking for, and so you got to be prepared for everything. Because if you're going for comedy, Olasia and the JJ should have won this.
And is inside their tent first is going to be the winners. All right? On your marks, get set, pitch. Alexis and Pagan. My only focus is to get the rod where it needs to go.
Okay, and so everybody knows we were not told that we actually had to do these like little voiceover things, and so we had to like make this shit up on the fly. Of course.
Hamburgers. I fell again.
Oh, dig it in. Oh, that goes in so smooth. Team, we suck at trivia.
I do not know how Pagan wore that goddamn tick on her head the entire time. That thing, I would have had a migraine. She could do cartwheels in that thing and it wouldn't fall off. Her boobs would fall out, but that thing wouldn't fall off her head. And Olasia wore those goddamn shoes all the way through this motherfucker.
I've always been pretty good at pitching tents. And today was no exception.
The sound effects. Goddamn, Bailey.
Put the stick in the hole. Which hole?
So, as you probably realized, this was not a real competition because they were like, okay, now put up the tent. Okay, now we're going to go back and do some takes. Because reality television is not reality.
Oh no. I don't think she actually. I think she canceled. I don't think she made it.
And of course, all the way through this, Alexis and I were completely like, because we come from cancel culture, Chicago, we were like, oh my God, but JJ, I don't know if you can do that because you can't have a white queen killing the black queen and then putting her in a tent and then hiding the body and well, I would hope they would win. They had 20 minutes.
Pagan and Alexis are the winners.
This is intense. No, literally, we are intense.
Yeah, it was so hot and tight and.
How is Pagan doing? I haven't seen her in forever.
Talking about the tent, right?
Good. I mean, he's taking a little hiatus from drag, but he's
I know,
he's,
I keep trying to get her on this. I'm going to try
Yeah.
it towards the end.
yeah.
Get out now. Kathy is really good at putting polls together. We almost got done in time. Also, he thinks that we got killed next to us.
Oh, you can hear in my voice. This is when I started getting really sick. Like halfway through this, like I don't know about anybody else, but I started like losing my voice, and because we went from freezing cold to like sweltering hot, yeah, I started getting real sick during this.
I'm really excited to see a summer romance blossoming.
Look at that! Listen to that gin blossom voice.
Definitely catch my tent.
I was actually okay. I was like, wait, we're only 12 minutes in. Okay, so pause really quick. So I watched this today and I was like, oh my God, wait, we're only 12 minutes in and we're just hitting, like, we're not even halfway through this and we're going into the talent show. And then the talent show started and I was like, oh my God, we had to do this goddamn number. Okay, so you had to listen to this number 6 times.
Yeah, at least.
Actually, we all did. We all did. We were backstage.
We were all...
So you guys are going to hear Mama Don't Make Me Put on the Dress Again from... Who is it?
Trixie Mattel.
Trixie Mattel. So we got permission to do this number. This is one of the numbers that we had to learn and do. And we all had to do an entire number. And so we had to listen to this number 6 effing times. And of course, like my approach to drag is always, I'm a theater queen. So my approach to drag is always like to tell a story. And I am not obviously I don't study RuPaul. I don't study reality television, all this stuff. And so like I came in just being like, oh, they're going to just show all the really good things that like tell my story. No. So you'll see bits and pieces of it. So my story going into this was, once again, my hair is like falling. My story going into this was very much like a performer, a clown. One of my favorite shows is Carnival from the early 2000s on HBO. And it's about a 1930s carnival that travels through the Dust Bowl performing. And there's a lot of like mysticism and stuff about it, that like whatever. So check it out. It's so good. But this was like kind of like where I was coming from it. And of course, like my last performance that I had to do an entire number to, it did not come out. So okay, here we go. I am at 12:03.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Camp Wanakiki Talent Show.
They pull those out of the ground and put them in their hair.
Don't we all, Ruby? But today we've asked our campers to make a dress out of a tent. And tonight on the talent show stage, they'll be presenting their looks to Mama Don't Make Me Put on the Dress Again by our gal pal and fantastic drag legend, Trixie Mattel.
I actually liked this song.
Oh, it's a great song.
I mean, not by the end of listening to all of it.
Mama, don't make me put on the dress again. I can't stand the way it opens when I spin.
Okay, we're going to have to pause after this so I can talk about things.
Mama, don't make me put on the dress again. Daddy, don't make me fancy dance.
I loved Pagan's look for this. I thought it was very clean, and I thought it was very specific. I really liked it.
God, I'm walking, Lord. Daddy, don't make me fancy dance.
That's actually the tent you guys used for pitching a tent. He got the exact same one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I think it was actually the one that Alexis got as well. Like, I
was
just noticed that. I
Oh.
think it is.
In my basket, will it answer if I ask it? Doing right or am I doing time? Lover, don't make me hit the road again. I can barely feel your fingers on my skin. I've been booking every city, looking sad but looking pretty looking. Lover, don't make me hit the road again. Brother, don't make me tell you where I've been. Running round in circles made of sin. I've been drinking like my daddy, and he ain't never had his last one, had he? Brother, don't make me tell you where I've been. When I'm coming home alone for the 100th time or so, it gets harder on my hard-earned money's dime. To the bottle in my basket, will it answer if I ask it? Doing right or am I doing time?
This is a moment when I think they could learn some things from RuPaul's Drag Race where they just even edit the song. Do we really need to hear the whole song? Probably not.
Farther from my home, the more I
Yeah, we're pretty much done with this song.
I've been gone, the more I miss it. Ribbon bows around my shoulder.
I always said that Pagan looked like one of the stewardesses from The Fifth Element. When they're like on the flight. Yeah, that's what she looks like. I'm like, girl, you need to do a number where you are doing some Fifth Element. Which would be a great cosplay to
Oh my
do
God,
some Comic-Con where it's like just far enough off the line where people are like, but they get it because it's iconic enough. Okay, so let's just pause right there. First off, we had to listen to that goddamn song a million times in a row. Yes, so like looking at mine, it was interesting because again, our direction for this was very much like use a tent, make a look from a tent. And so it was, I didn't know if I should use the entire tent. Should I use other elements of the tent? Nobody knew. So that was that. So what were your takes on these looks?
I mean, some people definitely went all out and just used every bit of a tent. Um, and yeah, I mean, the creativity with these was definitely more than I thought it would be, to be honest. I think it surprised us all.
I will say, Olasia was actually sewing and pinning hers before she went out. I thought her look, again, I was amazed at the things that Alasia did because she had the least amount of time out of all of us. She was like a quick replacement, which was an amazing replacement because she did so well, I think, with the things that she did. Yeah, let's go through their judgments and then we'll talk about that.
What a terrific show!
Oh, also my eyelash. So I had the flashies, the eyelashes that light up, and if you notice one, like at this point they weren't lighting up anymore. One of them wasn't, so I was like constantly like this.
Only 5 batches. So we're going to ask you to leave the stage while the three of us discuss and decide.
This is when they made us go outside for.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it got
This
real.
was also the day that we had 2 talent shows. I don't remember what the 2 were. This was one because this was midday because I remember most of them were at night.
Yeah.
This was midday and we were outside and it was warm.
Sink your teeth into one of our mouth-watering burgers or a variety of other menu items. And wash it all down with a signature Hamburger Berries cocktail.
I noticed they no longer have silky ganache in these.
Did someone say mimosa?
I mean, the big blur that they had to do.
Visit hamburgerberries.com to find a location near you. Reservations are strongly recommended.
Not anymore. Not during the COVID. Girl, there's seats for everybody.
Girls, I don't know about you, but I really loved that talent show.
It was very fun.
Very entertaining. Absolutely. I thought it was interesting the way the campers pick different ways of interpreting the song because the song has a campy, upbeat tempo, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's a little more somber. And so some queens decided to play with the tempo, and some queens took a more somber approach. It was interesting to see the two.
Yes, I was one of those queens that took a somber approach because that's where I was in this entire show. Like we were midway through, and I was starting to feel it.
The 3-in-1 craziness. I mean, she just consistently brings it.
I think it was 100% tip. I didn't see anything else. I mean, it was like all the dresses, all the layers, all of those layers out of tents, I think. And I was like, who knew tents were so versatile?
And fashionable.
I know. It was intense.
She's all right.
It was intense. Intense, 3 of them. Lots of tents. Intense. She tends intense. So much intense. 3 tents to it.
I need some new cousins.
Now, how about the JJ?
See, okay, so this is something I learned is that like from my outfits and then looking at Vegeta's during this, that being on stage and being on camera are 2 different things completely because it's hard to see, but this was actually a very striking outfit and it was actually very pretty. But it's really hard to see that on the camera, which was most of my looks. Right here.
And always the tool. Always too much tool.
Yeah, well, with the JJ, that's true.
Story. You knew everything about that clown. She was kind of sad.
I felt for the clown.
Clowns are usually spooky, but this was a sad clown.
Yes, well, I did what I did. I'm telling you, I will always say, I've always said, listen, there are queens out there that look better than me. There are queens out there that dance better than me. But I can outperform most motherfucking queens. And I did during that number. I've actually thought about bringing that number back because I was very proud of that number. But it doesn't come out in editing. And that's the thing that, like, I don't know how to manipulate yet.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And it was just all about Alicia dancing again, which is, yeah. But I wouldn't fault her too much for that. But I will say, the sneaky little bitch stole one of our props.
She stole that literally the day that we showed up. She stole it off the table.
Cross between the Three Bears and the Exorcist.
Sorry, I'm gonna fix this eye. It's a little wonky.
I was waiting for the head to spin around. I didn't know what.
So little backstory about this. When Alexis and I found out that we were both in the season, Alexis started a private message between the three of us, and
Compared to the others, well, yeah.
and Kevy showed us what she was making for the tent challenge. She was very excited. She also went around and told everybody who was in the show. And Alexis and I were like, "You can't do that." But she showed us, and then it was like the building point for, I think, Alexis and I were like, okay, if that's what she's doing, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and like Alexis and I are very similar in our thought processes. So yeah, we took definitely a different approach.
Sash, Campy says, well, should we bring the campers back in?
Let's do it.
Yeah. The Queen of Camp Wanakiki will take home a fabulous prize package worth nearly $5,000, including an all-expense-paid cruise provided by AllOutVacations.com. Cruise and land tour specialist for LGBT travel.
Well, Alexis did do that.
Exciting adventures around the world. You'll also receive free burgers for a year, compliments of Hamburger Marys, where you can eat, drink, and be merry, honey. The winner of Camp Wanakiki will also be featured as a headliner at the Austin International Drag Festival.
Which is because of me.
Drag Festival. All this and a great big wad of cash, too. Campers, that was one hell of a show again. Yes. One of the toughest decisions we've made this whole competition. It really was. You all should be very, very proud of yourselves. We don't stop the round of applause. Pagan and Alasia, nice job today. Really, really nice. You both earned your pitching a tent badge. Please go to the back of the stage.
So I will say, I will fully admit, at this point, I actually thought, when I saw who was out there, I thought I was in the bottom two. Because I really thought that it was Alexis and Vijay in the top.
I actually ordered two of the same tent. I wanted to keep one as intact as possible, just in case I'm ever homeless. And then for the second one, I turned it into this jacket, and I used the floor of the tent to make this fluorescent.
Thank you. Heavy.
Because Vijay just looks so beautiful, I really thought that she was definitely... And here's the thing, like, pause really quick. Here's the thing. All of us were going into this knowing that we were the third drag show to do a competition. And it was one of those, we were obviously, like, following RuPaul's Drag Race and then Dragula. And both of them are very much about glam. Obviously RuPaul's Drag Race, because that's, you know, that was their thing from the beginning, was being glamorous and like flawless and put together and everything. But Dragula was kind of the same way, but with a spooky element. And so we were going in not knowing what we should do. Like, I find beauty in being ugly. And I don't mean ugly like, oh, spiders are coming out of my mouth. I mean, you don't necessarily think that this tent, like when you look at Kevy's tent, that is not, and tent look, that is not conventionally beautiful. But when you know Kevy as a person and as a performer, it is. And so I think a lot of us were coming from very much stage elements as opposed to look elements. And so I find this all like this is where we were at. We didn't know what to do, and I just started this goddamn hour. Where are we at? What number are we at?
I'm at 22-23.
22. Oop, 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 oop. Okay, I'm at 22-29. That's about where I can get it. Sam, shh. Although looking at this, I do feel for the judges because it's one of those things where you're like, you're there for 22 hours, and you're like, I'm trying to look like I'm interested. But JJ was like, I got 3 lines. This is what you got. Yeah, my voice was done. Oh yeah, I smell. We all smelled at this point.
Challenge, and I wanted to use as much of it as I could. The hoops were actually made from the supports of the tent. I just cut them, rolled them, and then wrapped the duct tape around them for comfort. So, yeah.
The twins are like, oh, okay. That's great.
Congratulations, you're the top 2 this week.
I was really surprised about that.
Don't know how many different looks you can get out. I didn't know tints were so versatile. It was like look after look after look. So I thought it was really clever and very, very.
And I will say, none of us actually saw what our looks or what we did on stage because we were all backstage worried about ourselves.
You don't want to see that. I need off that day. I just love everything you do, and today was no exception. Just absolutely terrific. I mean, you just knocked it out of the park, honey.
Thank you. And congratulations, you also were part of the winning team for the trophy as well.
Thank you.
Continuing to trivia. So, Muffy, once again, the attention to detail is crazy.
The attention to detail, if we're sitting here and we can be close enough to see it, just not on camera.
Sensory shock, but then you see all
Yes, sensory shock.
wow, it's cool, and I didn't
That's my new drag name.
even better now.
That should be my villain name. That's my villain name. Sensory shock.
The performance of Trixie's song. You told the story of a performer who, I mean, she just told the story of the song. I mean, but once you had to get on stage and you have to perform, no matter what you're feeling on the inside or behind the scenes or how many times.
And of course, I thought of 12 things that I could have done different for my performance. That I was like, oh my god, it would have been amazing if I had brought out my suitcase and it had the hoops in it, and then I was sitting on my suitcase, and then I was doing this. Yeah, always.
Baby faces on the boobies. Terrific.
I was definitely getting Mad Hatter Clown from you, Muffy.
I kind of feel like I look like Slash
You're the winner.
on acid. Oh, I will say, this is the one time Alexis beat me that was actually deserved.
Enjoy the great outdoors at Campbell's. 33 beautifully wooded acres near
I would have been pissed though if I would have won and this was the prize, considering I'm the fucking queen of Camp It. So,
Congratulations, both of you. Now wait backstage for the matching ceremony.
Thank you.
we're like, okay, bye, sorry bitches. We're out.
I absolutely love you. I think that you are just a pure delight. Your energy, your kind heart.
I will say, looking back at this, I was the only queen in season 1 that was never up for elimination.
But I'm just not getting the humor all the time. I'm just
That is true.
that bawdy, over the top camp quality that I'm looking for. And that's why this.
Ooh, they made Ruthie be the bad person in this one.
Your attitude every single day during the daily camp activities. It's inspirational. It really is. You give every single thing you have to this competition, and there's a reason that you're still in it to this point. But now that we have 6 campers, I'm not sure that it's the same quality that the others are here. I also, again, want to give props that you just love your body, you embrace it, you're going to be an inspiration for so many people. Truly, you are.
So something I always tell people about this is like you don't understand what it was to be in this community during this whole thing.
Hmm.
Like you can judge us, you can like there's editing, there's all this stuff involved, and you can judge us and you can look at it and think this or that or like whatever. But we were actually very, very close during this, like all of us, like during this whole thing, and
as well as you've heard me say.
editing pushes your judgment towards things. So
The tool that we're seeing here, it's just a lot of tool for a 10 challenge for JJ.
Kit said, "Shady, shady editors." It's true.
See the piping around there.
Listen, I'm telling you, like I said before, reality television is not reality.
The challenge was to make a dress out of a tent, not to accessorize a bunch of tulle
Oh,
with scraps of tent.
fuck. That's the shadiest, like, motherfucking thing anybody said during this goddamn thing. She ain't having it.
Out of it, but I feel like
She's like, okay.
it's not really there. However, you're killing me every day with jokes and your attitude.
Yes. The JJ, I will say, this is this is what, between the three of us, we thought. We actually thought the JJ, Alexis, and I were going to be in the top three. And we actually thought the JJ was going to win. Because, again, we didn't know what they were looking for. And the JJ was hilarious. So that was where we were coming from. So, like, I don't know. Let's pause really quick.
Oh no.
Over to Chad. So what were you all thinking at this point backstage?
I mean, that was definitely the toughest decision we made was that last elimination before the finale. I mean, trust me, I think we spent a good hour and a half on that one.
I know. We were all outside waiting. We had to eat
Yeah.
lunch.
I mean,
waiting.
that was
Yeah.
yeah, it was ridiculous. But
Yeah.
um,
Who did you think was gonna? Who were your top three? Who do you think were gonna be in the top three? Knowing all the politics and knowing everything before we came in, who did you think?
you mean when we had to decide, or even from the beginning?
From the beginning,
Oh, from the beginning.
like after the first filming, because you didn't know a lot of us until.
Sure. I mean, definitely the top four was right. I just didn't know that last, and I think it was between basically Pagan and Vijay. Those were, even knowing both of them and not knowing you were Alexis, the consistency that you guys had with your daily drag and what you did and your talent show. Pagan was a little more on the fence of like even wanting to be there sometimes, which I get. So
Oh yeah, no. Pagan was like there was times where Pagan, she has history, and so she wasn't so into the whole thing as the rest of us were.
yeah, I mean, I will say that I definitely bugged her about doing the show for weeks.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that she did. She is one of my favorite. She is one of the most genuine people that I have ever met. Like, she is so caring and so kind and so loving, and hilarious.
Yeah.
And when her and Vijay are in the same room, I just can't. Like, they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. All right, here we go. We're gonna go.
Congratulations, you will be getting your pitching a 10 back.
That was a Vijay across the board on that one.
Yeah.
You gotta take a hike. But we love you. Happy trails, really.
This is when it starts getting awkward. They're like, okay, you can leave. All of you, goodbye.
Thanks, ladies. You can wait backstage.
There it is. that was a rough one backstage. Her and I would say the eliminations that were really rough were, of course, well, actually, like all of them are really rough.
Yeah.
But backstage, Dominique was really rough.
Oh my god, yeah, that one was. Oh.
That was hard. That goddamn cabin. Girl.
I'm a little disappointed to be heading home. I really thought I could have gone all the way. I'm disappointed I won't be able to share all of the looks that I brought and do all of those ridiculous challenges. It was exciting being the only trans woman on the show, and I think I did us proud. At Camp Wanakiki, I celebrated body positivity and trans beauty by showing off my body every chance I had.
This was a drunk night. We all went out and got drunk on this one. Like, we went back to the thing. They're like, you can have one drink. And I'm like, nobody's drinking this vodka. I'm going to have all of the drinks.
Yeah.
For following us on our journey here. I really hope some of you liked me. We are travesties, and we are beautiful.
Girl, that path was treacherous. Oh my goodness.
Remember, campers, it's set. Ah, I fucked it up. Let's go again.
Muffy inhalation, I'm sorry.
She called her Muffy. They kept getting us confused all the way through that. And I was like, she's like 50 pounds lighter than me. Ruthie peeing herself. Oh my goodness, wait, I just lost it. So anyway, that was quite the episode. That was whew. So we're gonna end soon, but I wanna know what is the shadiest thing that you remember from this entire season.
Oh my god.
From backstage, from the twins. I want the like ridiculousness.
I think I blocked a lot of it out just because trying to remember the good times that, it was.
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and tell you what I remember. Is that this was during this episode, we had to midday go be, and like, so Chad would take us, he would drive us in his PT Cruiser.
Yes, make sure
And it had a flux capacitor in there, and he's like, oh, I like to spin out on these roads, and like literally he would like drive like crazy and spin out, and he's like, wow, it's a lot easier with all that weight in the back. And that's where I was sitting.
It was true.
Yeah, my fat ass back there made it easier for you to spin out.
We got there quick, and we got there in one piece.
Yeah, we did. It was a very long road,
even with Pagan on my roof.
Dirty. Yes. Yes, Pagan was on your roof at one point. Oh my God, the ridiculousness. Well, Chad, thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you were able to be here.
Yeah.
With all of your professionalism and your microphone and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I need to go pee, so I'm going to head out. And again, thank you, and I hope that we can see each other soon.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bye. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.